I'd like to bring on Anne Marie Burkle to discuss this, former nurse and a former New York Congresswoman who also served as a commissioner at the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Anne. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's
Of
nice to be here.
course. So, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is lining up a major health care package to be voted on in the next 2 weeks. Can you break this down for us and tell us what will happen if this actually does become law?
Well, yes, there's a number of bills included in this package that are of concern, but I'll speak to the one that you just mentioned, and that's to address the doctor shortage. And quite frankly, we lost many doctors with COVID, but even before that, with the Affordable Care Act and moving to electronic records and the expense of all that, we lost physicians. So this isn't something brand new. This has been around for a significant amount of time. Now, I think it's really good that Congress is addressing these issues because healthcare is on the minds of the American people, and primarily it's the cost of healthcare. But what else was included in this package of bills is what's known as Senate 127. And Senate 127 has to do with PBMs, and PBMs are something we don't hear a lot about, but they're called a pharmacy benefit manager. And that is a very important component of how pharma negotiates drug prices with the healthcare plan. And they're talking about weakening the tools that PBMs use to bring down the cost of drug care and drug supplies. And so it's of great concern because, and I will point you to a hearing yesterday where Rand Paul made some great points. And one of the points was, we think, but we don't know, that weakening PBMs will reduce the cost of healthcare. But he said, I don't think that's true. And I think we need to explore this further. So Senate 127 really would, instead of reducing drugs, the cost of drugs, would increase the cost of drugs. So not anything we want to do in this inflationary environment where you've got increased food, increased fuel costs, and increased healthcare costs.
Wow, that is incredible insight there. Senior citizens are already on a fixed income. Will they be protected in any way from these potential premium increases?
No, there's nothing in here that protects them. And I think that's also of concern. You talk about inflation on a fixed income, that's a significant issue for seniors and something that really, before Congress proceeds on any issue, they really should understand the impact that their legislation will have. And healthcare it becomes so complicated. We all know that. And even this little PBM concept is complicated. And just to proceed as if we know what the results are going to be isn't prudent. And Congress really needs to slow this down and be thoughtful about it and make sure they understand, is this going to really reduce the cost of drugs? And I would say, no, it will not. And it will only increase the cost of drugs.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned they make it so complicated. Why do you think that is? Shouldn't it be fairly easy, especially for American people, to understand the system? It seems like it may intentionally become increasingly more complex as time goes on, so they can perhaps sneak these little things in here and there. Do you think that's a possibility?
That's an ideal, and it would be wonderful if we could hope for that, and that would happen. But I think realistically, the Congress, whether it's the Senate or the House, they need to be really smart about this. They do need to address healthcare and the cost of healthcare and the cost of drugs, absolutely. But what they need to really think about is that what they're proposing is free market, and it puts the patient in the center of the discussion, not the government, not a special interest group, but the patient, and let the free market determine the best way to go. And when you do that, the patient will the benefit from that. But if you don't do that, if you put the government or special interest in that equation, it never works out well for the patient and the individual.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.